by the way. Okay. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, everyone. My name is Fadz and I, and this is my partner in justice, Sisti Laila. So today we will persuade you to agree with our topic, that is, university confession pages should be filtered more. Okay. Before we start, I would love to ask you a simple question. How many of you wake up in the morning, do your morning routine, and then scroll through the passing confession? Be honest. Okay, Kimi said yes. Right? It becomes a form of entertainment for us students, as we know it's written by our students. And we cannot ignore the fact that there is benefits coming from anonymous confessions, that there is power behind making an anonymous confessions, which is why we have to acknowledge it. Now, first of all, anonymous confessions has the ability. Anonymous confession has the ability to promote students' voice and start discussions on serious issues. This is fair because, as we know, not all students have the boldness that it requires to spread their voice. Not all of them have the platform to let their voice be heard. And when there is a platform such as these confession pages, it allows that these confession pages that are read by all students, it gives them a fair platform that their opinion will be heard, right? Secondly, it can broaden one's knowledge on topics they have never explored before. As the phrase goes, when reading an opinion with a concurrent worldview, it can reinforce one's conviction. When reading an opinion with an opposing worldview, it broadens your perspective and causes one to examine their beliefs and search for truth. So, as long as you're reading, even though it's an anonymous confession made by someone who wishes to remain anonymous, you will gain new knowledge every single day. Now, the most infamous of them all, anonymous confessions able to express students' feelings and experiences freely without receiving judgment. By making these confessions, it enables one students to let out all their pent-up feelings of their love towards another student, right? So let us see an example. You can see that this is made by, I don't know, but regarding your student love. So you can see that when they make comments such as, Akan HM3 itu kind of comel. When they make those comments, what do you think they feel? They probably feel excited, they feel happy. The next day they're waiting for Ahmad to reply, right? Or you can see that, harapan Ani HM3. Natanya, Dennis or Dennis, right? They feel happy, they feel excited when they make this kind of comments. But every day, as we scroll through these same confession pages that talk about these light-hearted topics, some of the topics mentioned are a bit out of hand, a bit unfiltered. We still think it is safe to engage ourselves with this kind of unfiltered topics? No. Because unfiltered confession pages can lead to the abuse of freedom of speech. Now we need to understand and we need to familiarize ourselves with what is freedom of speech. It is the principle that supports the freedom of an individual to tell whatever they think, whatever their ideas is. And as it is mentioned in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, everyone has the right of freedom of opinion and expression. But do you really still think it's just an opinion when in these same confession pages where people confess their love, do you still think that when another person is making a hate comment about someone's looks, about someone's behavior, it is just an opinion? No, it is actually the abuse of freedom of speech that I mentioned right here. For instance, we can see everyday example of people using someone else's name and making statements that maybe are opposing that person's moral belief. And when that happens, it creates a hatred. It creates something that makes other students hate that student. And this is not the reason why confession pages are created in the first place. And it's becoming very dangerous, right? could be wrong. So, take Exhibit A. Now, this is a very filtered down confession because if you were to scroll through confession pages, there are things that are far more vile and crude. So it reads, I really like the girl in my comp sci class that I think of doing bad things to her. I know that this behavior is obsessive, but I can't seem to go on without seeing her. In which there are replies, people, or like, is there any way we can track down this person? Now, here we can see that somebody is expressing their adoration, but any normal person would know that this is an unhealthy obsession, and people are using confession pages as a platform to behave this way. And a couple of scrolls through university confession pages, and you'll be bombarded with invitations to hookups, confessions to weird sexual fantasies, and people coming clean about committing an immoral action. Now, this goes to show that unfiltered university confession pages actually promotes lack of self-censorship. Now, what does this mean? This means that some individuals tend to share unwarranted and inappropriate behaviors, tendencies, desires, and thoughts. And this could be a part of their identity that they are not fully ready to express yet, or it could be a disturbing act that should not see the light of day. Now, the high amount of confessions on these inappropriate topics is a result of lack of self-censorship, and this would cause a domino effect where people would feel more and more encouraged to share their deepest and darkest secret. Now, why is this true? For the most of it, outrageous stories about lewd and crude topics get unwarranted attention. In the words of Hinduja, which is the co-founder of Cyberbullying Research Center at Florida Atlantic University, has said that the more outrageous comments attract more attention. So there's little incentive to exercise restraint. Here we see that these types of confessions are gaining a lot of attention. And this is actually counterproductive to the very being of confession pages. As stated by Fadz just now, confession pages are supposed to be a safe avenue for people to talk about your feelings and in return probably get feedback or comfort from other strangers online. However, when we see these types of confessions getting attention with shocked and angered comments bashing people behaving this way, then we're actually drowning out the confessions from people who genuinely need help, who genuinely need feedback in order for them to cope with their struggles in terms of mental health disorders like depression and anxiety. And with the added fact that people already view confession pages as a source of entertainment shifts our attention away from genuine and actual issues that are going on within university. And so, why is this bad exactly? Now, this actually incites negative curiosity in within students, especially those who are juniors and just entered university. Let me paint a picture. Now, for instance, somebody is inviting you, not inviting you exactly, but inviting in general for a hookup. And some people might be influenced to try this out because they might have FOMO, which is fear of missing out. And so, whenever these things are unfiltered, people are curious. This is a negative curiosity in which they want to try out dangerous and immoral things. Now, some may argue that by filtering out these types of topics, we are playing into blissful ignorance of young adult social problems. But I digress. Take for example, sexual education in school syllabus. The reason why governments implement this syllabus into schools is to expose students about these taboo topics in a healthy, and let me repeat, healthy and professional manner, instead of them learning them on their own through disgusting and unresourceful sites. So this is also, this is what we're trying to advocate here when we're filtering out these topics. We are not trying to avoid discussions on sex and weird behaviors, but we want to channel these discussions through proper means. And These setbacks clearly show how confession pages can be breeding grounds for frivolous rumors as well as oversharing tendencies. Hence, how do we mitigate these problems? Number one, administrations must standardize a guide on how we should filter these posts, and we should post the confessions that are that has proper intentions. And this must be conducted by a team that consists of both students and lecturers so that both parties can be protected. Secondly, these confession pages must be constantly safeguarded and reinforcement of community rules must be implemented. And lastly, I would like to invite everyone to practice self-censorship and be more wary of the things that you say online. And thus, I believe that all of us can already fathom why we want to filter confession pages more. And on that account, let's draw a conclusion. Firstly, me and Fadz and I both acknowledge that confession pages comes with a lot of advantages and benefits, and therefore we are not here to say that we should abolish it as a whole. Rather, we want to improve it by taking out the negative influence so that we can optimize the benefits. And as users of confession pages, we should be more wary of what we share and what we receive from these confession pages so as to not fall into negative traps. Thank you.
Thank you.